Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is Douglas Mackey, a man who was uh, indicted, and they tried to put him in jail for the rest of his life for making a meme. The SPLC was part of this process, and he joins us now to comment on the current news about the SPLC and their hate crime hoaxes, which of course were leveled against him. Douglas Mackey, live now. Hey, how's it going, bro?
Hey, great to be here. Great to
Obviously
be
been
here
a
with you.
massive fan for quite a while, and sorry I went a little long with the current AG, with the former AG of Virginia. Man, that guy, I really don't like what happened in Virginia, but you just kind of see rolling totalitarianism across
Yep,
the country, and nobody experienced that like you did. And the SPLC had a part in it, right?
exactly.
You made a meme, and then the Biden administration wanted to put you in jail for the rest of your life because you made a meme.
Exactly.
Um, how did the SPLC interplay with that?
So everybody knows that the Biden DOJ came after me for posting funny memes that were completely innocent, saying that Hillary Clinton supporters could text their vote. But what most people don't know is that the SPLC played a role in my trial and even trying to interfere with the trial. Yeah, there's the meme with the in the upper right hand corner, the government exhibit number on it, which is kind of a nice souvenir. So what happened when I was going on trial in March of 2023 for posting two of these memes is that the SPLC actually came after my attorney and the expert witness in my case and tried to intimidate both of them and
Whoa.
smear them in the press. Two characters named Luke O'Brien and Michael Edison Hayden. So what they did was we had an expert witness lined up, George Hawley, who is a very mainstream, respectable scholar from the University of Alabama. He's had his publications in, I believe, Cambridge and Columbia have published his work. Very reasonable guy, not some kind of right wing extremist. And he happened to be the TPUSA campus advisor. More on that in a minute. Hawley was going to testify at my trial that the election memes that I posted were indicative of trolling and not actually an attempt to trick Democrat Hillary Clinton supporters out of going to the polls. So what they did was they smeared this guy Hawley based on the fact that he had corresponded in emails with somebody from VDARE. Not only that, they tried to smear him by the fact that he was the TPUSA campus advisor. If I could read you this one quote that they sent to him, I shouldn't say they, Luke O'Brien sent to him, which is TPUSA has engaged for years in a range of far-right activism, including anti-LGBTQ plus efforts and anti-democratic organizing that contributed to the Jan 6 attack on the U.S. Capitol. The organization has numerous links to white nationalism. Do you have any comment? And then he said, does the University of Alabama know that you are doing this, that you're corresponding with these people? So ultimately, what happened is the expert witness, George Hawley, backed out of this case. They also tried to portray my attorney, who was just a regular, very well respected in the New York area criminal defense attorney. They tried to smear him as some kind of far right movement lawyer because he was taking my case. And now the funny thing is that this kind of ended badly for these two individuals, Luke O'Brien and Michael Edison Hayden. Uh, what happened was this story was baseless. And so when my attorney got wind of it, they had Clearlock send a email to SPLC saying, look, if you run this baseless story, we're going to come after you for a massive legal liability. The only reason I know this is because Mr. Hayden published it in this book. And the aftermath of this is that SPLC pulled the baseless story and didn't run it. And this ended up with Michael Hayden on the floor of his shower at his house having a panic attack, passing out or something bizarre. He eventually had to leave the SPLC. And Luke O'Brien, who was a freelancer, he was angling for a full-time role at the SPLC, actually had to he was never offered a role at the SPLC after this. So this ended badly for them. As your readers, your viewers probably know, I won the case against the federal government, but in a way, I guess we won it against the SPLC too. So I was very heartened by this indictment that came down from President Trump and Todd Blanche. And on day one, President Trump signed an executive order ordering the DOJ to end the weaponization of government and investigate the weaponization of government. So I think that we're seeing the fruits of that play out. I would caution the black pillars to take heart here.
Hmm.
We are seeing that things are coming down the pike. When Biden was in office, I was being prosecuted federally. They tried to throw me in prison. And now we're starting to see little things trickle out, the fruits of some of these investigations that take months or years to fully develop.
Uh, Doug, how much time were you facing in prison?
So I was sentenced to 7 months in federal prison by a judge in Brooklyn, New York.
For a meme, for a meme, for an obvious parody meme. By the way, which has been redone countless times by leftists, right?
Yes, absolutely. A famous comedian by the name of Christina Wong made the same joke, and people have made this joke for
Yes.
years, decades. Oh, Democrats vote on Wednesday, Republicans vote on Tuesday. This kind of joke.
Yeah. Could you zoom out? Because I know you got very granular there as to how the SPLC
Yes.
attacked specifically you. Could you zoom out to the ecosystem of the SPLC? They put Charlie Kirk on a hate map. 4 months later, Charlie Kirk is murdered. Charlie Kirk went on one of his last times on national TV, live in person with Laura Ingraham, talking about the SPLC and how dangerous it is to conflate TPUSA with the KKK. Little did I think Charlie even know at the time that they were funding both sides of that. Could you talk about the ecosystem of how the SPLC operated? And how good it is that the Trump administration is exposing that, shutting it down.
Absolutely. Yeah, this goes back years. The SPLC, I believe, played a role in a gentleman shooting up Focus on the Family 10 years ago or so. When
Family Research Council.
Exactly, the Family Research Council, they put a bullseye on them because they were anti-abortion. So just for being pro-life, the SPLC is going to call you a right-wing extremist. And I think that what their specialty is and was for all these years is taking basically normal people like George Hawley or the Family Research Council and then putting them up next to these Klan mask-wearing people or people running around the country with swastikas. Well, it comes to find out these more extreme organizations, the leaders of these very small organizations were being funded by the SPLC. So then you get these images of these individuals going around the country. Well, where did they get the money? They're not made of money. They don't have lucrative careers, but apparently they have enough money to fly around the country and wave swastika flags or put Klan masks on. It's a form of LARPing. I mean, these are kind of like old defunct organizations. And so then they take these people and they put them up next to President Trump or yourself or Charlie Kirk and say, this is what we're fighting for. Send us your money. And then, of course, we know what they're doing. So they used to have this intelligence wing, which got shut down, obviously, because of probably these investigations, where, they would go around paying people to do all the stuff. And then things like this would happen. Charlottesville, going back a few years, where a number of right-wing protesters who were among them were mixed in some of these not neo-Nazis or KKK members, but some of these people were just regular people trying to protest the statue. They corralled them into the town square, and then they corralled Antifa in to try to create this riot situation. A lot of people think that they were trying to have blood spilled there so that they could, portray this as extremism gone wrong and Trump is ruining America. And fortunately, that didn't end up happening, besides one individual who sadly lost her life because an individual hit her with his car. And then it's contested whether he was just trying to escape or whether he made a mistake or whether he purposely mowed her down. That's sort of immaterial. But this is what the SPLC does, which is profit off of rancor and division by causing rancor and division.
What do you think about Patriot Front? Like, first off, I can't wait to see what names are properly exposed. I would really like to see the names who are getting paid by the SPLC in order to do this. They're paying hundreds of thousands, if not millions. They've paid in totality millions upon millions of dollars.
Yes.
To right-wing influencer class individuals, and they knew exactly what they were doing here. They knew exactly what they were doing. Benedict, they were assisting the SPLC in creating these narratives against their own side. It's totally evil. I hope those people are exposed. What about Patriot Front? Like, what's going on with that organization? Do you know anything about them?
So I don't know anything specific about Patriot Front. I would caution anybody about these kind of organizations because they get you to put these costumes on and march down the street, and then people
Right.
say, "Oh, look at these people! Look what they're doing." I don't know that that's effective politics. First of all, second of all, we've seen a pattern now of groups like the National Alliance and the KKK, but also a group that maybe looks a little bit less radical, like the Patriot Front, where they actually pay off the leaders to sort of corral these people and leak their data. They get you to sign up, and they have a member list, and then they sell that member list to the SPLC. So I would caution anybody against this sort of organization. It's just not a great thing. I would also say that we've seen where they had a former police intelligence police officers infiltrate these organizations and make their way up to almost the very top, and they're on the payroll of the SPLC. So anytime you're doing something like this, the Patriot, I don't know who's in the Patriot Front. I don't know if they're getting paid or not, but I would just caution people to be aware of this.
Like, it just has to be. It's just this organization that we've been calling out for such a long time, and I don't really know. I'd really like to find out. Certainly in this Trump administration, like what is going on there with the box trucks,
Yeah.
the outfits, the marches, the lack of anybody ever scrutinizing them every single time they need something. They get a giant truck that pulls up and they all just pile into the back of it. It's unmarked. It doesn't have a license plate. It zooms off over the hills, and we never hear from them again. It just reeks of an op, man. And now that we're finding out about all this, now that we're finding out about this, like the great age of disclosure, hopefully, is upon us. Let's do January 6th next. I'm very, very glad that you brought a sort of uplifting message for what the Trump administration is doing on this front. Douglas, we've been such a massive fan of yours and your fight, and you fought back boldly, and you didn't cry in court or bend the knee or sob to these goblins, and we will, to your great and eternal honor forever, we will respect that. We hope you join the show again sometime soon. And everybody follow Doug Mackey. He has great memes. I endorse Doug Mackey's memes. He has nearly 100,000 subscribers here on X. Fight with the people who are fighting for us. And Doug has a great sense of humor about it all. So God bless you, man.
Thank you, Benny. Really appreciate the fight.